And that was Furstenau study number 12, a cadenza and a moderato section in a dramatic key of C minor. Now, I'm not going to talk about the musical side of this because I'm going to leave those decisions in your capable hands, but the Romantic period was all about freedom, so we do need to be technically on top of this so that we have the freedom to do what we want with it musically. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the practical things I did in preparation for the study and then let you into what was going on in my head as I was performing. So first of all, these low C's to B's. If you don't have a B foot joint, it works equally well if you substitute the B for a D. So I used a little bit of nose grease. I thought long and hard about playing at an angle, about rolling or tapping. But really, I just had to be patient because it took 2 or 3 weeks for my little finger to wake up and do what I wanted it to do. Also check if the C's to B's aren't working, it may be nothing to do with the little finger. It's a good opportunity to revisit relaxation. So make sure your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your back, your knees, your feet, everything is really grounded. Once you've got the C's and B's sorted, the E flat is also dangerous. I was finding it was disappearing, so with many disappearing notes, I practice them longer and louder than they really need to be. So then we have this lovely long run down. It's not a particularly difficult run, but it's nice to be really on top of it. So I have this image of a dog owner taking the dog for a walk, and it's a big dog and it's going a little bit faster than the owner can keep up with. So the little legs are going and the owner's a bit out of control. So you don't want the dog taking you for a walk here. So the best thing to do, I find, is to practice in quite deliberate groups. So in 4s. Threes. 2 semis and a quaver. The other way around. So if you're competent with all those combinations, then in the heat of the moment you'll just be able to let go and enjoy that run. Then you've got to go high, high to a top G in a diminuendo. So you might want to think ahead about your embouchure, about bringing your embouchure forward a little bit and really supporting the sound as you go up. And I like to use the C key to just soften that top G. So there's a world of technique in those first two lines, and then you've got to do it all again, but a little bit higher. So whatever happens first time round, make sure you save a little bit so the second time can be more exciting. Then we've got 4 bars with trills in. These are very exposed because they all need to sound the same. So again, I broke this down, just the semiquavers. Then I added mordents. As I added trills, I noticed the second semiquaver was tending to disappear. So again, I elongated that. All the while keeping my fingers as soft as I could to make sure the trills all came out. Then we've got this wonderful F-sharp diminished arpeggio, and the soft fingers didn't really cut the mustard for that bit, so I was thinking there, energy in the fingertips to get some bite to that passage. And then as you get to the F-sharp trills, thinking a bit about a tune across this section, a bit of line. And then these low trills, they're long, they're loud, con tutta la forza. You might want to just revisit the space in your mouth here. Have you really dropped the jaw? You've got plenty of space going on there to make sure those trills don't crack. Then the Moderato section. Never underestimate how much you have to demonstrate the rhythm when you're playing unaccompanied. You have the visual aid, but your listener needs to really understand the time signature, particularly at the outset. Then we have some trills on the second page where you've got a grace note before the trill, and I tried very hard to separate the two. So I practiced and then. So I hope that came over clearly. Then this massive passage of arpeggio figures, arpeggios with notes missed out, and I found that really tricky. Particularly if you're a quick learner, make sure you play this slowly at the outset so you don't make mistakes, because unlearning mistakes is really difficult and demoralising. So take it easy, get it right, and lots of repetition here. You want your subconscious brain to know exactly what it's doing. I found it useful to practice, again, split. Always being very aware of the tune on those first notes. So I was thinking about the phrasing. Did I want to do or phrase to the middle? But all the while I'm taking myself somewhere else, away from what's going on with the fingers, because if I think about the fingering there, it's guaranteed to go wrong. So think about the musical shape, or even wiggle your toes if you need to, but don't think about your fingers. Then in the last section, I hope Furstenau won't mind, but I like to crank up the speed a little bit for a bit more excitement towards the end. So it's fast, it's staccato, so really coordinating the fingers and the tongue is the tricky thing. So I reminded myself to keep my fingers really close, to bring the tongue forward, minimise movement to maximise coordination. And then when I got to that final C, I just used that time to get rid of any tension that had built up in the previous few bars. Again, reset the jaw so that I got a really strong finish on that low C. Well, I really enjoyed playing this study. I hope you do too. It was a real challenge, but definitely worth it. So Liz, thanks very much for asking me. And if you found this useful, please do consider sponsoring our very good cause, which is Help for Musicians. Thank you.